Imagine losing $500 million overnight, not in cash or jewels, but in history, culture, and art. By morning, 13 of the world's most valuable masterpieces had vanished. The guards were found tied up in the basement, and the thieves, gone without a trace. To this day, no one knows who took them. No one knows where they are. And the story? It's stranger than the heist itself. At 1:24 a.m., two men dressed as police officers rang the museum's side door. They said they were responding to a disturbance. The guard on duty, Rick Abath, broke protocol and let them in. Moments later, the guards were overpowered, tied up, and locked in the basement. The thieves had free reign of the museum. Without triggering alarms, the men spent 81 minutes inside. They smashed glass, sliced paintings from their frames, and made off with treasures worth $500 million. This wasn't just a random theft, it was a plan. The thieves knew where to go and what to take. In the Dutch room, they ripped Rembrandt's only known seascape, The Storm on the Sea of Galilee, straight from its frame. They took Vermeer's The Concert, one of the rarest works in the world, and yet they left behind Rembrandt's self-portrait, perhaps too large to carry quickly. From other rooms, they grabbed sketches by Degas and a small bronze Chinese vessel. Strange choices for professionals, but this wasn't about taste. This was about precision and speed. By 2:45 a.m., the men loaded the stolen art into their car and disappeared into the Boston night. They left no fingerprints, no DNA, and no clear trail. And so began one of the greatest mysteries in art history. When the day shift guards arrived at 8 a.m., they found chaos, shattered glass, empty frames, and no sign of their night shift colleagues. They called the police, who found the two guards tied up in the basement, disoriented but unharmed. The Boston police quickly realized this heist was far beyond their reach. Within days, the FBI took over, launching one of the largest art theft investigations in U.S. history. They interviewed hundreds of people, followed tips across the globe, and even consulted art experts. But the case hit dead end after dead end. One theory pointed to Boston's underworld. Some believed notorious mob boss Whitey Bulger was involved, possibly using the stolen art as bargaining chips with the IRA. Others suspected local gang members, like George Reisfelder and Leonardo DiMuzio, who had ties to Boston's criminal network. But both men died shortly after the heist, leaving more questions than answers. Even the museum staff wasn't immune to suspicion. Rick Abath, the guard who let the thieves in, was heavily scrutinized. Why had he broken protocol? Was he involved? But after decades of investigation, no solid evidence linked him or anyone to the crime. And as the years passed, hope of solving the case began to fade. 34 years later, the Gardner heist is still an open wound for the art world. The museum refuses to replace the stolen works, leaving the empty frames as haunting reminders of what was lost. The Storm on the Sea of Galilee, the only seascape Rembrandt ever painted, gone. The Concert by Vermeer, a piece so rare it's considered priceless, gone. In total, 13 works of art disappeared that night, valued at over $500 million. The largest art theft in history, and not a single piece has been recovered. Despite offering a $10 million reward, one of the largest ever, the museum and the FBI have come no closer to cracking the case. Leads emerge every year, but none have panned out. Some say the paintings are hidden in private collections. Others believe they've been destroyed to cover the thieves' tracks. But no one really knows. The Gardner heist didn't just steal art, it changed the art world forever. Museums around the globe re-evaluated their security, adding cameras, alarms, and stricter protocols. The days of relying on a guard at the front desk were over. The art market also changed. Buyers became more cautious, and auction houses tightened their verification processes. No one wanted to accidentally deal with stolen goods. And for the Gardner Museum, the fight isn't over. Anthony Amore has spent years chasing leads, determined to bring the art back home. But for now, those frames remain empty, waiting. The Gardner heist wasn't just a theft, it was a loss. These weren't just paintings, they were pieces of our shared history. But the story isn't over. Maybe the art is still out there, waiting to be found. Maybe one day, someone will step forward with the missing piece of the puzzle. Until then, The Gardner heist remains a haunting reminder of how fragile our treasures are, and how one night can change history forever.